All right. Let's juice. Let's juice. Happy Friday, Lions. Previously on Kimba TV. Here we go. CPI. Oh, swiggity, swaggity, swaggity, swiggity. But yeah, if I'm gonna get into a long, so I'll give you a little bit of a thing. It really doesn't matter if it's here or here or here. What I'm really gonna be looking for is something like come, and then when it bounces, I'm gonna look at open interest. I'm gonna look at open interest right here, and I'm gonna look at open interest in the meat of the move. And I'm going to decide, is this possible or is this possible? You don't need no other body. You don't need no other honey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 23 minutes, y'all. Let's go. Dev, hey, good morning. All right, we have 22 minutes until PPI, y'all. Snowy B says, what happens on PPI? So yesterday was CPI. CPI stands for Consumer Price Index. It basically factors in how much everything costs to be a consumer, to consume shit. So today is PPI, which is Producer Price Index. So how much it costs to produce things. All right, Snowy Beast, it happens every month. And it's what the, it's one of the many indicators that the Fed and the government uses to figure out if inflation is up or down, which in turn impacts interest rates. Yeah, so the good news is, Snowy Beast, PPI usually doesn't do much. It's, baby volatility compared to CPI. But exclamation YouTube, did you know that I stream every day for the last 3 years? And that means that there's probably at least 20 to 26 CPIs and PPIs here from the last 3 years. So you can definitely, PPI day, look, January 12th, PPI, we were up $250,000. J-Ski, you good? EUU says, so no alpha TA? Well, it's already been done, EUU. Are you paying attention to the Discord and watching the highlights? So, I can go over it again, but I said this on Monday this week, and I also said it on towards the end of last week. The shit that I want to happen is just taking time. Okay. So do you remember the Discord post from 3 weeks ago? We're finally getting what we want. So this is almost 3 weeks old now from Vegas. So it's all been just between 65 and 60. Right? So what I would say, EU or anybody wondering, hey, well, give me the 15-second alpha TA, bro. What I would say is go back and watch the highlights. So what did we say when it got to 65 and what we're going to be looking for? And then once we get to 60K and it does the sweep, which we got yesterday, finally. Okay, so there's your 60K sweep, finally. 60K sweep, finally. So do you remember all the things that we said that we would want? EU. So EU, what are the couple things that we talk about? What are the three main things that I like to use as edge, EU? Do you remember? I like to use structural edge. I like open interest. And I like CVD and oscillating divs. All right, EU. So we were waiting for the 60K sweep to happen, right? Okay, happened finally 3 weeks later. What do we want next? Structure. Okay, open interest. So you have about 140 million in shorts. Okay, 136 million. There's no longs. Longs got closed out. So open interest. Check. Structural. Check. Do we have any hidden bull divs? Price is making a higher low. The CVD, the oscillating data, is a lower low. Price is going higher low. Oscillating data is lower low. Higher low, lower low. So we have hidden bull div. 163 million in shorts. All right. So it took a while to happen, but we got it. Now, for example, what kind of structure did I say that I wanted, EU? What kind of structure did I say I wanted? Okay. So what exactly is it that you really want from me on the alpha TA? Because if you've been able to pay attention to what we've been talking about every day and not forgetting, and don't forget about all this. This is 3 weeks old. We finally got the rotation from 65 to 60. Okay? And do you remember when we were talking about, that's gonna get cleaned? So we finally got it, EU. Okay, so if I was wanting to short, I would probably wait for this. I mean, that's why I said yesterday, I'm not gonna delete this box because the imbalance is still there. Okay? And I gave you guys a little bit of a hint yesterday too, but a lot of times when it comes back into a channel that it broke down of, a lot of times it'll do a mid-channel retest. That looks pretty interesting right there. So if I was going to short, and I don't trade over the weekend, so I mean, unless this happens in the next hour, I probably am not going to take this because I'm going to be on a flight. Then it would be nice to kind of see if we can get something like that. Okay. What would be bearish? Well, it would be bearish if we come back to the gap. We want to leave this for later. So this is maybe the most that I would tolerate in terms of a pullback, like 60,500 type of shit. Alrighty. But it's a bad low, right? Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's got 2 ticks, so I mean it's okay. Here's what I would say. Do you remember when we were waiting for the 65 bad highs to get cleaned? Okay, so I wanted to short 65, right? I missed it. Still was able to get into the short here, but it can save it for later. So if it's gonna save that, that's confluence for the long down there. Okay, I wouldn't sit there. See, this is what I mean. Like, depending on when you joined the stream, you're gonna be obsessed with the one thing that you feel like it works for you. If you joined me 2 years ago, you're probably waiting for divs at the golden pocket. If you joined me a year and a half ago, you're probably waiting for the single print to get grabbed. If you joined me a year ago, you might be super obsessed with bad lows and bad highs getting cleaned. Okay? But waiting for it to go back down or thinking that it's going to go back down because it's got bad lows would be like an idiot that thinks it's going to pump because you have a 1 hour bull div. It's confluence. You know, it's synergistic elements. So if you just have one edge or one piece of information, the value is 1. If you have 3 things working, then 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. Alrighty. If it's going to continue to make lower highs and lower lows, well, this is still possible, okay? And it would add confluence because of that, because it's not shitty, but it's not the greatest. Okay? So, I wouldn't really get too crazy with it on a Friday. But you've got a short opportunity and you have a long opportunity. So all we did though is we identified the level. Okay? So you still need to be able to articulate to me why you think you have an edge to long there or why you think there's an edge to short there. So if we go up there and we clean out even more shorts, okay, that could be one. If you have some type of smaller hidden bear div, that could be one. If S&P Blue Gammas start to look bearish, that could be another. All right, EU. So it's a couple of things that I always say. One is I'm never going to be able to convince your subconscious. You will believe what you organically want to believe. Okay, so if you're secretly, and sometimes y'all don't even know it, but if you're more bullish than I am, even if I tell you, hey, I'm gonna short here, you're gonna freeze up or fuck it up in some type of way. If you're more bearish than I am, you're not gonna wanna take longs where I'm taking longs. So the best thing to do would be to just do what you think is right. Me personally though, EU, I'm gonna always execute the same way. So I'm gonna look for volume, TPO, mathematical, and imbalances like single prints and the ones that overlap the most. For example, swing high, swing low. It's kind of interesting that you have confluence on the mid channel, which I've seen many times, where it'll form a channel, it'll break down, it'll come back, it gets rejected at the mid channel. Hands up if you know what I'm talking about. You have single prints, you've got imbalances, and you've got a lot of liquidation clusters. So this zone right here is kind of interesting. Okay, cool. Step one, I have identified the level. Okay, so when or if it goes up there, I'm going to take into consideration how it got up there. Did a bunch of, could you guys tell that there was a whole bunch of bottom shorts opening right here yesterday? So we'll look for the same thing to see if there's a bunch of top longing happening. If there's a bunch of top longing happening, any sort of bear div, S&P looks bearish, then you might have a reason to do it, and your invalidation is probably right around 62. Alrighty, if it comes back down, your invalidation really is that impulse candle right there, this guy. So do you see how CME, yesterday when we were watching this, we said it's gonna gap? So if it doesn't fill the whole gap, it's extra bullish. There you go. Which means that you cannot lose this. So if you were going to try and long this, your stop loss is there, because you don't want to fill that. All right, EUU. Shukili says, why is it bullish to not fill the gap? Well, what I would want you to do maybe this weekend is nerd out on CME. Okay, so just in layman's terms, how does a gap form? Okay, this means that the market did not want to wait, and it was already buying. It said, yo, fuck CME, we're going. If it needs CME to go up, it's not good. All right, so you can fill it later, but you do not want to fill it today. That would be a little bearish. Okay, but a gap up or gap down indicates strength or weakness. All right. EU says, thank you, it's much clearer now. Yeah, but you know, that really wasn't 15-second alpha TA. When I say 15-second alpha TA, I'm talking about I'm looking at what happened while I was sleeping, and I'm interpreting what happened while I was sleeping in 15 seconds. Okay? This shit is not really, there isn't really much for me to report to. Okay? You were here yesterday. I told you guys, you know, what levels, if it started to get above, it was going to squeeze. If you guys remember. So it's squeezing, you know, it's going up. This would be the next level of interest if you wanted to short. But I told you guys yesterday that we're looking for longs. So... all right, 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, PPI is out. Bugatti juice, Bugatti juice. Math is math. Oh, okay, prepared, ho. Quit playing with me, I told y'all, math is math. I told y'all, math is math. Get nasty on him, All right, and then like EUU and Lion Cubs. How many PPIs did you watch? How many PPIs did you go back and check? How many PPIs have you participated in? Have you seen enough to be able to trust that the initial move is debate? You don't want to get caught up in this game of predicting the future. The only thing that will be objective and will last you through your whole journey is how you read the data. All right, Coney. Sometimes I have pixel perfect bottom on longs. Sometimes I have pixel perfect tops on shorts. But most of the time, all I really care about is just the substance. Okay, so if this is the range, okay, sometimes I can get that short. Sometimes I can get that long. My real only concern is getting the meat. Okay, so even though I wanted CME to clean the 65 bad high for me to be able to short this, I wanted that to get cleaned, right? So we got front ran. I missed that. I couldn't get that short that I wanted right there, but we ended up getting a short here and short here. So we still were able to juice. And then you guys remember when I started TPing, right? So I didn't TP pixel perfect bottom right there. I had closed a whole bunch right there, had to re-enter like right here, closed most of it here. It's never going to be perfect. But the question is can you read the data? Alrighty, so could it go to 57? Sure, I'm ready. All right, could it pull back and bounce from here? Sure, I'm ready. So yeah, I mean, it could do whatever, and it's also Friday, so I'm not gonna really put in too much, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. Just be ready for whatever it does. So first things first is, this is the level. This is the level of interest, the yellow and that bearish retest. That's your level of interest. So that's your level of interest. What is it doing? How did it go up there? I just told you that coming back down here to the gap would be bearish. So if it starts to do this, like, look how I can do this in my sleep. So if it really is going to go to 57, I rather look at this. I will see what this reaction is looking like, and then I'll take the bearish retest. Maybe it's going to be up here. Okay, maybe I have to do something like this. It's going to end up being the .5 or something like that. .5. So if you can read the data and assess the probabilities of things that are, of what you think is going to happen, you're always going to be Gucci. Alrighty. I got to get ready to go. Yeah, so the higher time frame stuff really hasn't changed. Okay? And this is from 3 weeks ago. So we were already talking about the 65, 60. Okay, 62 is another level of interest. 65, 62, 60. We've been talking about for 3 weeks now. That's the bing bong ding dong. So getting rejected off of 65, awesome. We finally got the 60 cleaned up. Okay, on CME. Awesome. So 62 is the next level of resistance. If you get above that, then let's go back up to 67. Level to level. But until 62, until it gets above here and turns that into support, pullbacks are always going to be possible. You could pull back all the way here, and then 57.7 is not out of the woodwork until structure changes. All right, so if there is a shorting opportunity up here, I'll short invalidation or invalidation, watch it. As soon as it changes structure, I will put stop loss break even. And then if I can get lucky and not get stopped out and it continues all the way back down, then we juice. If it does some shit like this and I get stopped out, then so be it. Can't lose. So it's not so much about like, oh, we got pixel perfect bottom, or oh, we got pixel perfect top. That's not it. As long as we didn't short here, as long as we didn't long here, you know, we're Gucci. So we might not necessarily get pixel perfect top or bottom, but we know what we're expecting, you know? Could it have bounced here? Could it have bounced here? But we're not shorting this, and we're not shorting this. We're looking for longs now at this point. That's what these boxes represented, right? So couldn't get a long there, but that's okay. If there is a opportunity for this, then I'll take it. Invalidation will be that gap. All right. Exo says, Kims, if gap won't be fully filled and quickly bounces back up with a bit more shorts open and bull div, would you deploy same capital as you originally intended for the long? No. But why, Exo? Why would I say no? Fuck, I was going to do a mega long, but he said that he wouldn't do a mega long, so I'm not going to. Exo, it's Friday. And it's a 3-day holiday weekend. Have I ever gone mega juicy, big ass position on a Friday before a 3-day holiday weekend? Have I ever done that in my 3-year history? I have taken medium sized, right? But your exact question was, are you going to deploy the same capital? Nope. I would never deploy the same capital on a Friday as I would on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And I think that's just common sense risk management. If I got into a 500 Bitcoin long at 60,150, I'm going to have to babysit that bitch all fucking weekend. I'm not going to do that. Okay? Yeah, but CME comes back Monday or Tuesday and it looks good, structures there, edges there, then I might. So if I'm going to do anything, Exo, it'll be medium sized, you know? That's when you see me with like the 50 on Blowfin or 50 or 75, but you know, a huge one today, nah. Yeah, I wish it was Thursday or Wednesday. What a week, what a week, what a week, what a week. Good shit though, Lions. Hey, no matter what happened this week, be proud of yourselves. All right? And if you fucked up a little bit, if you did some goofy shit, that's okay. That's okay. We've all been there. Try to figure out how you can improve next week. Give me your best next week and let's get after it. QC, Stan, Chalub, Copy Trading, Dark Alien. Have a great weekend, y'all. Make sure you get caught up on the VOD. All right? Today, I mean, even though it was a short stream, I think the morning TA stuff was pretty juicy if you needed it. Bysword, Jupy, Sebs, 604, CryptoHawk, Cage Wins, Chalub, No Diabito, go to the Discord, PSG, stand up, let's go. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.